Hello, everybody. It's Ava, ProWebWriter.com. I always like to just not say a lot right here at the beginning of the video because it seems like the sound always cuts out for some reason. Right at the beginning, I don't know why. I had an interview this morning that kind of fell through, so I thought I'd take advantage of the makeup and, you know, the decent shirt and things. I'm freezing, so like I'm wrapped up in a blanket. I'm really sensitive to like cold air, and so in the wintertime I'm tortured. In the summertime the air conditioning drives me crazy, so I'm freezing, so I'm wrapped in a blanket. All right, so what we're looking at this week, it looks like this, and look, there's like a thingy. Yeah. All right, so talking about marketing your Kindle books this week. Number one thing that I want you to know about that is that I'm not an expert. When I came up with this topic, I originally hoped that I would be able to learn along as I was teaching you, but I've had a very hectic week, and as a result have not had the time to put in the research that I wanted to on this topic. So there will be a second part to this video, or this particular topic. All right, so first and foremost, Amazon's tools are pretty great for promoting your books if you enroll in the KDP Select program, at least for the first 90 days. And it runs in 90-day increments. And if you're enrolled in that program, Amazon expects your book to be exclusive to their platform for those 90 days. Now, after that, you can unenroll. Is unenroll the word I'm looking for? Unenroll from program, and then you can distribute your books via other channels such as Barnes & Noble, iBookstore, Scribd, all those other places like that, Smashwords, all that stuff. Or you can just stay enrolled and every 90 days run a promo on your book to boost your sales, either way. So their tools are pretty great if you utilize the KDP Select program. It has two methods of promotion. One is the free promo, and the other one's kind of like a dime seller, where every time you start at one price, and every time somebody buys the book, it goes up a little bit until you reach like your max price or whatever. So it kind of gives buyers that, you know, limited time incentive to purchase your book. Also, Amazon sends out emails and things. Like, I know several times I've gotten emails that had my own books in them, where they were sending out promotional emails for books in different categories. It depends. They'll send them out based on the category, based on the price, based on the topic or genre, that kind of thing. So if your niche is super hot, though, there's really not a lot of marketing that you have to do. Like with my cookbook, it basically sold itself. I did nothing. Like, I put it up and it went #1 straight to the top in the free and paid categories with like nothing from it. I think, you know, I posted on maybe Twitter and Facebook, hey, I wrote a cookbook and it's free right now, but other than that, it went crazy. And I got lucky, and somebody actually shared it in a group. I didn't do it, but they shared it in a Facebook group. So that's something that you may want to look into, and something that I'll probably find out as I begin to research for next week's show and get deeper into the marketing, is find out that, for one thing, I know that groups are really hot right now on Facebook, almost hotter than pages. So everybody's creating groups for everything. The problem is that you're going to run into is groups that will allow you to share your stuff on their page or whatever, because they don't, you know, they're not just going to open up to everybody, because then it'll just be a big spam fest. So that's kind of the thing you have to look out for. Like, maybe you could find groups where once, you know, that you could participate in, and once you're actively participating, be able to kind of slip a promo of your book in there and that kind of thing. I'm really not sure how that works. I know I have a Facebook group that's it's a closed private group, but it's free to join, and if your books pertain to self-publishing and the writing process and things like that, blogging, anything that happens to do with, author branding, building your platform and that kind of thing. If your books are about those topics, you're free to share those in that group. So, I mean, it just kind of depends, I think, on the group owner and why they started the group in the first place. So, yeah, it might be something you might want to look into is Facebook groups. I know as I've perused oDesk, I've run into several book promotion gigs where they say, hey, you need to post my book to these Facebook groups, and then, say out in parentheses, I'll provide the list. And I'm thinking, man, I'd love to get my hands on that list. Maybe this is something that we'll find out in the coming week as I research this. But yeah. Alrighty. At the most basic level, though, with all of that being said and jumping ahead of myself and everything else, the most basic level of book promotion is promoting your book on your social media pages and profiles. I mean, it's really up to you if you choose to promote your books on your personal profiles. I know some people like to keep the business and the personal separate, but I've always been a big advocate of it. If you have a business and it's on Facebook, you should definitely share from that business page onto your personal page, because your friends need to know who you are and what it is that you do. So say, if you're a plumber, and this comes from my experience as a social media marketing manager, say you're a plumber and you post on Facebook, and maybe you might not see a whole lot of results from your efforts in social media until you find out that Bobby shared with Susie because she posted on Facebook and needed a plumber, and Bobby just happened to be a friend of yours that knew that you had a plumbing business. See how that works? So, I mean, we'll work the same thing, or the same way, I'm sorry, with the whole book thing. So your friends, I'm an advocate. I will post things in all the places that I can, especially if I'm running a free promo. I will post that on my Facebook and say, hey, you can get this free right now. Because, I mean, if people are my friends and whatnot and they're on my Facebook, I mean, I don't have a problem giving them a copy of my book for free, because it ups my chances in that if they go and download that book for free, it's going to boost me in the rankings, and it's going to get it in front of the eyeballs of more people who may eventually buy the book or buy one of my other books because they like this book, that kind of thing. And also, if they happen to like it well enough to write a review, then basically they've done more than paid me for the copy of my book. So the most basic level, share on your own social media channels, whether personal, business, or both. Either during your free promo or not. I have not played around or A/B tested or any of the above. The promo days, you get 5 days free per 90-day increment that you're with KDP Select. So that's 5 days that you're able to promote your book for free. I don't know about the dime sale thing because I don't use that one. The free promo, everybody wants something for free. They don't want it, for 5 cents now because it's going to be 15 cents if they don't get it. To me, that's just, I'm not the most business savvy person, but some of these business tactics just don't really trip my trigger. I'm probably one of the hardest sales out there. So anyway, I haven't tested the amount of days, like, if I just do like a 1-day promo, if I get any type of good result or versus whatever. I just go by Jason Brock, and what he does is all 5 days at once, because he feels like it builds up the most momentum, and then your book pops off that promo, and at the top notch momentum that it could possibly be at. I don't know if there's any weight to that or not. I would have to test it myself. I will do a little research on that as a part of the next video just to see if that's the case, but I don't know. Since I started watching Jason's videos, I just do. And you can look him up if you're interested in seeing what he has to say. He makes between $18,000 and $20,000 a month passive income from Kindle publishing, and he pretty much shares every way that he does it for free on his YouTube channel. I've linked to him before, so I'm not going to link to him again, but he does all 5 days at once, so that's what I've been doing. Press releases via prlog.org, which is a free press release distribution service. I'm not a big press release person. Like, the only experience that I have with press releases is writing them for other people, and I absolutely hate writing them. They're just not fun in any way, shape, or form. You have to stick to a certain format. They need to be a certain number of words. They need to say specific things. You know, you have to really know a lot about the thing that you're writing the press release about. So it'd probably be pretty easy to write one about a book, and I might try this in the future, but prlog.com, .org. Links will be in the description, by the way, for all the things I'm about to share. But yeah, free press release distribution service. I guess you could try it. If you had any type of success at all with it, then maybe go with a paid press release service. I don't know. Subreddits. There's a few subreddits that you can actually add your Kindle books to when they're going through the free promotion stage, and then they just kind of automatically are removed or drop off after they're not free anymore. I did do that with one of my books, and I mean, it was okay, and I got some not comment love, but I got some link love, link karma they call it over on Reddit. Reddit.com. Links in the description, and also links to the 2 subreddits that I submitted to. But I mean, it could work. Reddit gets a ridiculous amount of traffic and is sometimes responsible for many of the things that go viral on the internet. So every little bit helps, and it doesn't take but a second just to share a link to your book. User promo service. I know that oDesk and Fiverr. oDesk, by the way, now changed their name. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But oDesk and Fiverr, I think both have where you can, you know, request, you know, get it by a gig or request someone to market your books for you. Also, so you could go with a service like that, or I promote a service exclusively for my website called BookTweeter. I think they're BookTweeter.com. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I talked about them before in one of my previous videos. All this stuff is starting to run together. I don't know what I talked about, what I didn't talk about anymore. But yeah, I'll put a link in the description. I promote their service exclusively as a promotional service, as far as all of the ones that tweet out books and that kind of thing. First and foremost, because I like the way they're put together, and I like the fact that they set up their Twitter accounts that they promote to by genre, and they aim them at readers. They're not just going around and adding a bunch of authors trying to sell their service. They add readers to their accounts. So say if your genre is romance and you've written a romance novel and you pay them to promote your novel for you, they're going to promote it to their Twitter, their romance genre Twitter account that has a bunch of people that read romance on it. I mean, duh, so many of the other ones I've seen, like, all they do is go around Twitter and add a billion authors. Well, once I pay them to promote my book, who are they promoting it to? A bunch of other authors that are trying to do the same thing as me and get book sales? doesn't make sense. So that's why I promote BookTweeter, and that's why I like them. Also, a very close second reason that I like them is because I think their cheapest package is like $9, less than $10, and they send out like several tweets. You get promoted on their Facebook account, and I just don't know what all else. You'll have to go and check it out on their website and see what it's all about. I can't remember all of the minute details, but yeah, user promotional service. Why not? Every little bit helps. And if it's not a huge investment, why not go for it? I mean, I think BookTweeter's like biggest, ginormous, most wonderful package is under $100. So yeah. Promote with extras from your creative process. I know when I wrote my debut novel, not so much with like my nonfiction pieces and stuff, but with my debut novel, I had rough drafts, I had outlines, and I had proofs from the printer, all kinds of stuff that if you, and I think it would take being a little, an established author for that kind of thing to kick off. But I had all kinds of stuff that if somebody was really into my work would make an awesome gift or giveaway for a fan base. So there's another idea if you already have an established fan base. If you do have an established fan base, or you have like 5,000 friends or whatever that like your work, that would be something great that you could build off of. If you have that, you're probably not watching a video about how to market your book though. So what's coming up in the future? There will be, like I said before, a more in-depth part 2 to this topic, hopefully next week. I've added on some clients in the last week or so, so things are a little hectic. Every time I add on a new client, it always takes me a little time to regulate where I'm going to allocate time to that client. So it's a process. But I should, I'm really trying to be consistent and do my thing every week. Like I was planning to do it this week, but I just kind of like decided off the cuff this morning, since I already had makeup on. Well, I might as well go ahead and do my video. And I sat here while I was waiting for this dude for an hour to show up. Finally, did my outline. And also proofread an article that I have to put out later for a client. So yeah. I'm just sitting here doing nothing. Let's see. Gosh, I'm a little long-winded on these topics, more so than I'd like to be. Other thing is, I'm going to start finding an author and promoting their channels in my videos, one person per week. Either their author channel, or maybe also include like their Twitter if it's active, or their website or something like that. I'd like to really kind of reach out and give other authors up and promote them and what they're trying to do. Now, I'm also considering, that makes my video go crazy, huh? I'm also considering doing some vlog type work with this channel, where it's more candid videos, using handheld or like a third-party camera type thing instead of just my webcam and Google Hangouts. So if that's something you would like, leave me a comment and let me know. Let's see what else. Chop something off. What's coming up after the marketing series? I'm sorry, like I take off my post-it notes one by one and throw them away as I finish, and I just chopped off my writing. Yeah, you can't see it. Anyway, after the marketing series, I'm gonna do a video or some on Kindle for maximum profit and passive income. If you're looking at doing Kindle as a business, let's talk about it, because that's what I'm really into right now. So. Let's see, I also hope to find the time to update ProWebWriter.com with some new great content. If I do that, of course, I will let you know. Since I realized last week that it's severely lacking in that area, and the content that is there is kind of mediocre by today's standards. I wanted to follow up on a couple things. This was kind of a last. This is this little part over here. This is kind of last minute deal for this video. I mentioned a couple things in my video where I was talking about how I make money online and the whole freelancing world and all that stuff. I mentioned a company called Rev.com. It's a transcription company, which I get, you know, tested and got approved to work for. And I did work for them for about a week before I just called it, kind of quits on that whole thing. I mean, it paid okay, but I was getting feedback with some mistakes in my transcription work, even after, you know, going through a video, or I'm sorry, you know, an audio, whatever, like 3 times. So first time, just go through, catch what I could type. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Trying to catch what I could type. Second time, going through and really filling out and, you know, putting in what I missed. And the third time, going through the audio a third time to kind of proof it and make sure that I didn't miss anything and that everything was there as I'm reading through my transcription. I was still coming up with some errors and things, and just having a really hard time as far as it being so time consuming for what I was getting. Like one evening, I think it was like 7 o'clock before I was done with a transcript, just because it was, I think it was like maybe 45 minutes, and it just ended up taking like, you know, 3 hours to complete, which just wasn't worth the amount that I was getting paid. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to stick to writing because because I'm interested in the booty, not, you know, not putting in max amounts of time for nothing. I think I mentioned also Crowdsource was mentioned this a couple weeks ago, or last week, or whenever it was a new company that I was writing for, which promptly went south. Got some kind of a, when I signed up, okay, so I signed up, I passed their test, then I got access to their assignments, but I don't recall in any of their emails, the way most places do, saying there's some training. If we're going to give you access to this type of writing, there's some training that you need to look at, you know, in our knowledge base before you start writing. And basically what I was doing was answering questions, but it was kind of long answer type questions, like 100 to 250 words per answer. And the first couple got approved, you know, fine. I didn't have a lot of problems or anything, having not even glanced at the training that I didn't know was there. And then I started getting like rejections and stuff, you know, we can't use this and that and the other thing. And the cool thing about Crowdsource was that it paid the next day. So like I could write 5 articles in one day, and as long as they got proofread before 9 a.m. the next morning, and, you know, put in my pending pay queue or whatever, I would get paid for them at 9 a.m. the very next morning. So it really had the potential to be something that would, you know, make a, and it was like $5 for like 250 words, which isn't bad at all. I write 250 words in, you know, 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. But anyway, once several of the things got rejected, and then they revoked my access to a few of the types of writing that I was doing there. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of choice other than to abandon shit. So in the past, I've never really had like problems with like negative feedback on writing before, so that's kind of a new thing for me. And honestly, I did not receive it that well. So also, I noticed that when they proofed my stuff, I would get what I wrote, what they corrected, and then the final piece that was submitted to whatever site it was for, or to the client, or however it works. I don't even know. And I noticed that it was an area where I had tried to say something about these objectives and had written it and spelled it and all that stuff correctly. I mean, the sentence made sense, and the proofer or editor had changed the word objectives to adjectives, and then the sentence made absolutely no sense, and that's what was submitted. And I'm thinking, well, you know, maybe it's not all me. In the past, I worked for Demand Media. I've logged into there several times over the years since I stopped writing there regularly, which I think was in 2010. And there's nothing's available. Like, I don't know if they turned me off or whatever. I'm still able to log in, but I can't write anything. And the last time I did take all of the articles that I wrote for them, which was well over 250. I don't even know what my final count was. I finally had to remove all the links I had to the articles that I'd written from them for my website, because I noticed they started replacing those articles with new content, or redirecting those old URLs back to their homepage or whatever it is that they do. So that is well-defined past at this point. Certainly my biggest success that I've had with seeking out work and clients has been by far oDesk, which changed their name a couple weeks ago to UpWork, UpWork. Let me put that on my link list. Sorry, I know how much y'all love it when I stop and write in the middle of a video. They just changed their name. If you're not familiar with that company, they also own Elance. This is just flavored water, by the way, in case you're wondering. You know, sometimes I wonder when I watch videos, wonder what they're drinking in that cup. But I'm weird, you know. Anyway, what was I talking? This is ADD, y'all. What was I talking about? oDesk. They own Elance, and I noticed when they sent out the email that they were changing their name to UpWork, which was after they had already done it, that they encouraged people with Elance accounts to go over and sign up at UpWork. So maybe they'll get rid of Elance, and there'll be more work and more jobs and more people on UpWork. That would be cool, more jobs. So anyway, I just want to do that little follow-up, and just to say, you know, where I'm having good luck and where I'm not having such good luck, and that might be the case for you, and it might not be the case for you. I mean, both the places, all three of the places that I mentioned that I no longer work for actively, or where I had problems, all paid me promptly. So that was never a problem. I mean, there are legit places to make money online, but they just didn't work out very well for me. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Okay. All right, well, I think I'm done. I hope that you will like and share and thumbs up and tell your friends about my video channel. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad to see you, and I look forward to next week. We'll do the second part of this video. Don't miss it. Links be in the description. Anyway, cheers, all of that stuff. See y'all next week.